StitchyTube, settle down and watch StitchyTube. Hello everyone, we are here for StitchyTube number 35, it's so lucky. With me is Ruby, and she's just been all up in my business the last 2 days. Like everywhere I go, she's like, hey, look at me, aren't I beautiful? And she is so beautiful. I don't think I've ever done a let me tell you about my cat, about Ruby. She is our oldest cat, right Ruby? Are you old? Not so old. She's probably eight-ish. And she kind of started off as my husband's cat. I used to go on like 2 times a week to PetSmart and play with the cats that were there waiting for adoption, just to keep them kind of used to being handled and to check in on them and see if, how they were doing. And so it was about an hour each time, and I would play with each cat. And sometimes I'd go and there wouldn't be any cats there, but it was just for volunteering for the shelter. But anyway, my husband used to go with me sometimes, and then for some reason this time Graham went with us. Can we show him how pretty you are? Hello, look at my pretty eyes. So there was this litter of black kittens, solid black. There was probably 5 of them, and 4 of them were boys, and one of them was Ruby. Right? Do you remember that? And we took them out to play with them, and Ruby, the boys were crazy because they were probably like 9 or 10 weeks old, and the boys were just so active. And Ruby was just, I think, done with the boys. And my husband picked her up, and he was like, oh, it seems like she's really kind of just frustrated with the boys. And she kind of did like circles on his lap and then just laid down and went to sleep. And he was like, oh, that's so nice. And she was so nice. And we had 2 cats at that time, and he kind of hemmed and hawed. And I was like, Steve, she's very sweet. And I mean, we took her home. And she's just great. Aren't you, Ruby? And she's very, very pretty. And she's just healthy. And she's motherly. She's a very quiet cat. Sometimes she will kind of hunt for toys, and she'll make a lot of noise then, or if she sees something outside. But she's just really great. She's a cat that is dense. So she's super heavy for her size. And I think she's kind of muscly. She's not fat. She's dense. So I think one of our only complaints about her is that if she's sitting on your lap and she decides to get off, she like presses down to leap off, and it's like you're being impaled with a cat. So sometimes you end up with like little bruises even, or little scratch marks. But she doesn't mean to do it, and she's very nice. Aren't you, Ruby? They can't even see you. I can see you. You're right here. Should we show you off one more time? Oh, Ruby is so nice. Oh, now she says nope. So anyway, I think she's going to be hanging out with us here today. She just is. Every time I go somewhere, she's like, here, look at me, look at me. So that's Ruby. Let me tell you about my cat. Speaking of cats, I've been collecting pictures. People send me pictures sometimes of their cats watching or trying to interact with me here on FlossTube. Where like their cat is like up watching the screen, or like has its paw. And the cats, I think people's cats are interested by my cats on the videos. And so I'm collecting them, and I'd like to do a little montage here at the end of the year. So if you have a picture of your cat watching me on FlossTube, would you please email it to me? My email address is below. We'll make your cat famous. If you want to tell me your cat's name too, I can put that on the picture. But it's nice to know that I have cat viewers too. All right, the winner of last week's giveaway of the Snowy Village kit by the Trilogy is Yankee Creek Stitcher. And the question was, what was your favorite ornament? Or what is your favorite ornament? And she said she's got 2. Her husband made some ornaments when he was little. One is a reindeer with pipe cleaner antlers. And then there's a pony with that's made of felt, or it's got a felt face or something like that. And she said those are like the most lovingly taken care of little ornaments every year. It was fun to read about everybody's ornaments that they like, Ruby. And it's a lot of you, your favorite ornament was something handmade. A lot of them, made by kids, or made by you, or made by your mom or your sister or whatever. And homemade ornaments are really cool. I love getting ornaments as gifts. I don't get a lot of them, and I kind of told the guys this year that I really like it when they pick out an ornament for me, because they wear out or they break over time. Somebody broke an ornament this week that I wasn't very happy about. A Jim Shore that I have. The tip of Santa's hat fell off. So when I find it, I can glue it back on if I find it. Otherwise, I may just see if I can find another one. It's very cute. It's Santa holding a cat. But, you know what? I was going to show you. I'll come back at the end and show you the ornament that I talked about last time that my dad gave me that I like so well. The next drawing is, I got together just kind of a group of things to celebrate. I'm in the Christmas spirit. So you're going to get a new, this was just reissued, Christmas Tree Farm by Prairie Schooler. You'll get that chart. You'll get a 1/4 yard of 32 count, what is it, Ruby Wine Belfast. I don't know that they even make this anymore. This was some stock that I had left over from my shop. It's really a cool color. And then you're going to get a pack of Jabco Christmassy buttons and a Dancing Santa needle minder that is so cute. So the question for next time is, I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to tell you now of something that I'm all into. I love it when people make Christmas lists, and we do the Amazon wish list, like our family, different parts of our family do the Amazon wish list, and it's very helpful because sometimes you just can't think of something for someone. I add to my list all year as I think of things where it's like, oh, I wouldn't buy that for myself, but I would love to get it as a gift. Well, my sister's kids keep lists, and they really hadn't updated their list for a while, and I called a couple times and texted a few times, and I was like, hey, you guys gonna update your list? And a few of them did, and it's fun to see what they pick out because I never would know otherwise. But Luke, if you're watching this, you can't watch this part because I'm going to talk about your gift. Luke is a funny guy. He was on a video of mine not too long ago rolling out pierogi dough. And also, I'm going to put a picture of Luke here. So Luke, my sister has 4 boys. Tate, Noah, Luke, and Henry. And Henry's the oldest, and he's very sweet and smart, and he's very inquisitive, and he asks a lot of questions. And I think, he'll probably end up being like an engineer or something. He's a very smart young man, very, very sweet. Tate is the second to youngest, and he's very quiet, and he has a really cool habit where he always is carrying something that's special to him. So like 2 times ago when I went to visit him, it was Pokemon cards, where he would carry a stack of Pokemon cards in his hand or in his pocket at all times, a stack, and he just would look at them sometimes. And he's very, very quiet and very sweet, and he has these big, beautiful eyes. And then Noah is the youngest, and he's very silly, and he's very silly. He's just a super happy little boy. He also is smart, and I really like Noah too. I like them all. They're wonderful, wonderful boys. And Luke is kind of the odd man out in ways. So Laura and her husband Jordan have brown hair, brown eyes, kind of olive-ish sort of skin. And so 3 of the boys match. And then Luke is kind of one of these things one of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. He is like fair skin, freckles, blue eyes, blonde hair. And it's like, what? Where did these genetics come from? They're in there somewhere. He's very funny, and he's really smart. And all the boys are smart. Luke is one that when you're talking to him as an adult and you speak to him like an adult, he's right there with you. Like, he's super, super smart. To his detriment sometimes, I think. But he's very eager, and he's just got a lot of energy, and he's very, very funny. But he's taking guitar lessons. The other boys really are all into sports, and Luke, I would say, is more into like he was in Boy Scouts for a while, and now he's taking guitar lessons, not so much into sports. I got him a ukulele, and I think it's like the coolest idea I've had so far this year. So what I'm all into, and I'll tell you more later what other things I'm all into, I love it when you think of a gift for someone, and you're like, this is a great idea. And I don't know how I came up with it. I mean, he takes guitar lessons. Ukuleles are just really funny little instruments. So he made a list. He had a list on Amazon, and it totally fit his personality. The other boys, it's like Legos and Tsum Tsums and, Henry's got a 3D printer, so it was supplies for his printer. And you can see their personalities. Luke's list was a flamethrower, like an actual flamethrower. The what do you call it? Like air horn thing, rubber chickens. Just, it was like insanity. But he hadn't updated his list, so I didn't know if he still really wanted those. So I'm getting him a ukulele. I had it sent. It got there yesterday. Laura's gonna wrap it up, and I can't wait to hear what he thinks about it. It was really a cool little thing. I got it on Amazon. It's a Daddario, I think, which is a good brand, and it was $49, so it was a little bit of a splurge for a Christmas gift for the kiddos. But it came with a case, a digital tuner, extra strings, and people said like this. It had like 400 reviews, and it's got 4.5 stars. And people are like, this is a really good little ukulele for $49. So if you're looking for a ukulele for Christmas, check it out. So where was I going with that? Okay, so the question, I get off track. The question this week to win that cool stuff is, have you had a eureka moment this year, or even can you think of one in years past where you kind of went off track and got somebody something just like on a whim, or like you just had a brilliant idea, and what was it, and like what was their reaction to it? Sometimes they kind of fall flat, but I think he's really gonna like this. So that's the question. What's your eureka Christmas gift idea? Okay, I was gonna come up with a list of 10, and I did, and you know what? List of 10, out the window. It's more than 10, but I'm going to show you some Christmas pieces that I've stitched because I thought it would be really fun. I did narrow it down some because I have probably 20. I don't know. I have a lot. I used to have a store, so I have a lot, of course. So this one is, I'm trying to remember what this one was called. This is a shepherd's bush. It's available as a kit now. And I don't know what it's called, but it was in Just Cross Stitch magazine, I think, at one point, but then later they released it as a kit. There was a sterling charm that was supposed to go there, and I wonder if I just never got it. It was like a shepherd's crook, but this is those Jill Rensel mats, and you can see how pretty they are. I put glass on it because of the painted mat. I typically don't use glass, but I did because of that. And I think I must have stitched it on a weird count because the mat is a little bit not quite the right size, but it's so pretty. I actually hang this all year in my closet. We have a walk-in closet. And I think it's really, really, really cute. So that's one thing. I was trying to figure out if I had shown this before. This is the Mary Engelbright Santa, also with glass, for a totally different reason. So you can see the border on that is insanity. It was DMC 444, which is lemon yellow, and I think I went through like 4 or 5 skeins because there was so much of it. I love Mary Englebright's Christmas stuff. The colors are great. It's just very, very, very cute. And I liked the little rabbits at the bottom on this one. This was in a book of hers, one of her books. And you can still find those books on eBay for super cheap, like for a couple bucks. But he was really fun to stitch. It's pretty much solid stitching. I think the only thing that's not stitched is the white of the snow, maybe? Or is that stitched? No, it's not. So that's... But he's got beads too, like his boot is beaded, and then these little flowers have beads in them too. So this, and then this, the sky was an overdyed DMC, a blue overdyed DMC, and then the star has got gold Krynic. So that's very, very cute. This was a frame I bought like at a rummage sale, or like, I don't know. I got it super cheap. But I had this framed. And one Christmas, it was hanging in the kitchen, and Harrison splattered yogurt on it, which is why it has glass now. I had to have it rematted, wash the piece. He shook his go-gurt, and it went everywhere. This one I just put up on my site this week. This was something I designed for Raise the Roof Designs. It's called Jolly Joy Jingle. And I don't remember what color fabric it's on. It's on a picture of this plus green pretty fabric. But it was really, really fun to stitch. I love this little border at the bottom. It's got some Jabco buttons, and she's flying through the air with her sack of toys. But it was fun to stitch. Jolly Joy Jingle. And so it wasn't for sale in my shop, but it is now. If you go to the Christmas section, you'll find it there, or just do a search for Jolly Joy Jingle. I got a little deer head button too. So that's another one. It's kind of based on Fancy That. I love the Fancy That you know, like look, and they're angels and things. And I'm going to show you one of those in a little bit. It's got a little cardinal here too. This one I got kits in, and I think I've sold one so far, but I do have the kits in my shop somewhere here. Let's see. Okay, so the kit, my piles. Santa's Beard, 1998. Ruth Sparrow from Twisted Threads used to do these kits of Santas. She did them for a number of years where you got everything that you needed. And so this is really cute. The beard is made out of it's a fiber that's got curls in it. So all you do is you just tack it down. You just go in there with thread and just tack it down in the area that she's indicated. And I think it's really, really cute. He's holding his cup of coffee. It's stitched in overdyed threads on this green fabric, and it's got a Jabco button. But I've got the kits are in my shop. She finished hers as an ornament, but I stuck it in a frame that I had, and I think he's really cute. It was fun to stitch. The kit comes with everything: the curly fibers, the overdyed threads, the green fabric, the button, a needle. So I just love that one. I think it's very, very cute. I think it used to come with hand-dyed linen, and now it doesn't anymore. It just comes with a green. I'm not sure though. Is it? I think well, no, it might be hand-dyed. But that came out in 1998, so that's old. As are the rest of us. This one I used to give out as a freebie at my shop. And I don't know. If few people are interested, let me know, and I can hand these out with orders or whatever. It was just another button company freebie, and it's called Naughty or Nice. And I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, if it's a gift. I just thought it was cute. And it's on like a bright limey green fabric, and it's got these kind of cool little ornament buttons. I am handing out a freebie chart right now if you place an order for Figgy Pudding, which I talked about last week. So that was, I think Patty at Samsara designed that, and it's in kind of funky colors of Weeks Dye Works. Okay, this one is one of mine. It's called A Weary World, and I don't know who talked about it recently, but I've been selling a ton of this one. This was my first original sampler design in 2009, so that's almost 10 years old. It's missing one of these little things. These were not great frames to pick out for models. They're very cute. I used them on a number of different things. They're Eastside moldings. I have the hardest time keeping these things stuck on. This one, I'm going to have to re-glue that one. Anyway, I'm always gluing them back on. I got to find the other one. But anyway, this is A Weary World. I think it's so, aren't we weary? Aren't we weary? I feel weary sometimes. I think the world feels weary sometimes because they're just, the other day I was driving through town and like the flags were at half mast, and I was like, I just feel like our flags are always at half mast a lot of the time. So it's nice at Christmas to have the spirit and to have hope. So this originally was, I designed this for the Gentle Art, sort of. I was talking to Jim at the Gentle Art, and they do these thread packs where it's limited edition, with colors. And they had this limited edition thread pack that was Christmassy kind of colors. And I don't know how we got to chatting about it, but he was like, oh gosh, we have like 1,500 of those thread packs left. I don't know, I'm going to have to, I'll practically give them away. And I said, let me design something with the thread pack. We'll see if we can move them for you. And so I designed this, and they sold out immediately. And so you can't get the limited edition thread pack anymore, but the chart comes with a conversion to regular sampler threads and DMC. And it was really fun to design, and it was fun to stitch, and it was kind of the first of my original sampler designs. So I don't know who talked about it recently, but thank you, because I've seen some sales of this one. So that's that. Okay, next one. Actually, I'm going to show you this one next. I was remembering that I had a few little Christmassy things in kind of a little box that I have, a little wooden box, and I found this. And it is just a tiny little pincushion that I stuffed with lizard litter, walnut shells. And it was a bright needle in one of the ornament issues. This was also 2009. And okay, here, I'm going to hold this so you can look. It's a tiny little 9 patch. It's over 1. I stitched it on sparkly fabric and then tea/coffee dyed it so that it looked grungy but sparkly. Here, that's a little deer down there. Isn't that cute? And then I don't remember if then this was a different year. Oh, it's kind of got fuzz on it. I don't remember if they came together. I don't know. They might have been in the same issue. I don't know what issue. I'm sorry. I couldn't find the chart. And it just says Merry Xmas. And you know, people say like, oh, you should write Christmas, you know, for Christ. But the X in seminary, you know, future priests have to write Jesus's name a lot when they're writing papers and things, or if they're taking notes in class. And X is just the abbreviation. That's as far as I understand. That's what I've read somewhere. Maybe I'm not right, but it's just the abbreviation for Christ. So it's not meant in disrespect, like it's not Christmas. And it fits better in a 9 patch if you spell it that way. But it was really, that was a fun little one to stitch. It didn't take very long, even though it was over 1. And I just think it's cute as can be. So I'm going to put this right here on my desk so I can enjoy it. Okay, I don't know what number we're at. It doesn't matter because it doesn't matter. Sue stitched this for me a couple of years ago, and she was so sneaky about it because she was here one time and she was, I don't know, we were looking through my stash and she goes, oh, I love this green fabric. Could I have a piece of that? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, take it. She stitched my Christmas gift on it and sent me back the remnant. It's Christmas Joy, I think is the name of it. It's by Barbara Anna, and I've got that chart in my shop too. It's not stitched on green fabric, but doesn't it look cute on green fabric? I think it's really, really cute. And that Santa is adorable. So thank you, Sue. I enjoy this one so much. I enjoy it. It's so cute. Okay, Ruby's right here. You can see her ear. Her ear is right here. Was that right, Ruby? Fancy That. Like I was saying, I love Fancy That, and this is one of her Christmas angels. If you go to eBay and do Fancy That, it's spelled F-A-N-C-I, fancy, F-A-N-C-I, that, and then angel, you'll come up with a bunch of her angel charts. To me, they were her cutest patterns. And this one is really fun. I love her hair. I love her dress. She's handing out mittens and caps to the snowmen. And these charts are not expensive out of print ones. You can get them for, you know, anywhere from a couple bucks to maybe $6, $7, $8. And they're super cute. It was fun to stitch. I just loved her style. I still love her style. I didn't stop loving it. I still love it. Okay, 2 more. This one is, you probably have seen this one, Santa Claus. And I just recently put this on my site too, where you can order the chart. It is part of the clothesline series that I designed for Raise the Roof Designs. This hangs in my laundry room year round. This was not a great frame to pick for models either, as the first one got totally destroyed and flaked apart. This one I've been a little more careful with. It's got stains on it. Like, this has been around because I designed this 12 or 13 years ago or whatever. But you'll notice Santa's got boxers and purple socks. And that was fun to do. And the last of my Christmas pieces, and this one isn't necessarily Christmas, is my Jane Pattison Reproduction sampler. And this one is, I'm pretty sure, Scottish, as it's got the rose and thistle down at the bottom. I love the piney border with like candles, maybe? To me, it's like kind of Scandinavian looking almost too. But it's got motifs outside. She had extra fabric, so she just kept stitching motifs outside the border, which I think is really unusual. I've not really seen that ever, I don't think. It's stitched in Gentle Art wools, and I ordered the wools because I wanted to put together thread packs to sell on my site, but 2 of the colors are on back order, so I'm not going to list those until they're back. Kathy, my friend Kathy, stitched the model, and she said she loved stitching with the wools, that it was much easier than she thought, and that's what the original was stitched in, was wools. And so that's Jane Pattison. And that's my 10, 11, 12, whatever, how many it was things, right, Ruby? Like I said, I have more, but I don't want to bore you guys. So you're on my notes. Scoochie-doo. All right, let's talk about the fundraiser news. Fundraiser is still going great. I'm blown away at how great the fundraiser is going. Originally, we wanted to raise $7,500. Right now we're at $9,481. So we're almost at $10,000 raised for the shelter. And that's awesome. I'm going to keep selling stuff on the site until the end of the month. I've got a pile, you can kind of see, I've got a pile of stuff left, and stuff still keeps coming in, which is great. The selling all the items is going to go on until, like December 31st. Then I think I'll clear out anything that's left on the site. I'll probably just mark down. And I did a few markdowns last night for some stuff that's been up since the beginning, where I marked stuff down to like really cheap. There were about 20 items that I marked down cheaper. But I'm adding new stuff every day. I added some stuff yesterday. I have some amazing stuff still left to list. Things that are out of print by designers that don't design anymore, that everybody wants. There's a book that I got that I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm not ready to list it yet. But it's sold, last time it sold on eBay was for $202. So I've got really good stuff left. I am being a little bit brave in how I mark things. I do fair market value. If something is in new condition, I mark it for what it would be to buy it new. And the cool thing is that you're buying something that you could buy full retail somewhere else anyway, but then all the money goes to the animal shelter, which is great. $10,000 seems like a lot, like where you're like, oh boy, that's really going to do good. It costs about $600,000 to run the shelter every year. Because, there's surgeries and medication and staffing and electricity. You can't even imagine how much electricity is. It's crazy. It's expensive. It's an expensive business to be in, to run a shelter. And so $10,000 is awesome. Like, we did great. We're doing great. Thank you so much. But this, by no means, it's almost a bottomless pit. Like, there are definitely needs that they need. And so that's why I just really want to keep going until the end of the month. So continue supporting it. I know some of you look pretty much every day. I'm trying to update once a day with new stuff. As stuff leaves, I put new in. I think there are about 120 items in that section of the site now. I try to keep it at right around 100. A little more, a little less, whatever, just so you've got lots to look at. And I pull stuff off almost immediately once it sells, because I don't want people to get discouraged going, oh, I wish I had gotten that. I just pull it as soon as it sells. I quietly pull it down and just try to get some new stuff put up there. So keep on adding. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really, thank you. And Jenny is just so excited. Okay, what am I all into? Ruby, I'm all into you. You're sitting just right with me today, aren't you? I'm reading a book this week. Still trying not to use electronics in bed. I do play Words with Friends. I am all into Beethoven's Hair. I don't remember where I got this book. I bought it used. I think it's a former library book, maybe. I think it's a former library book. I really like Beethoven. I have played the piano since I was small, and Beethoven music is some of my very favorite. He was, he had kind of a tough life. He had a very demanding father. He had so many health issues, and he couldn't hear. Like, think about that. He was a composer, and for a good chunk of his career, he no longer could hear, and he had to communicate with people through writing. But his music was, it just was amazing. So beautiful on a profound level, not just technically wonderful, but listening to his music and playing his music too is just an amazing experience. There was something very, very special about him. There's a story about how he only met Mozart one time, and Beethoven was, composing and playing very, very, very well. People say that he played amazingly. And Mozart came one time and listened to him play, and he was like, yeah, fine. And then Beethoven said, can you give me a theme and I'll do some variations? And so variations are where you have a simple kind of melody that's short, and then you take that and you morph it, and you continue using that melody, but you build on it and subtract. And so he did that, where he just instantly composed and played wonderful variations. And Mozart was like, And so as he was leaving, he told somebody, he's going to be something. He's he's very good. And of course he was. So this story is about somebody, another person who played the piano and who was young, met Beethoven several days before he died. And after he died, he went with this, friend of Beethoven's, and he brought along a scissors and he took a lock of Beethoven's hair to save. And so the story is about this lock of hair that was, put into a little glass case, and he would show it to friends, and then it got passed along during World War II. And eventually it came to Sotheby's, and it was auctioned off. And I don't know how much was paid for it yet. I haven't gotten to that part. But it's basically they decide that they're going to take this hair, divide it up based on the people. The two people bought it together, and like one guy was going to get 27% of the hairs. So they were dividing it up, and then some of it's going to be studied by science, and they're going to try to figure out like what was wrong with him, what could they learn about him because of his DNA. So Beethoven's Hair, it's by Russell Martin, and it's a wonderful book so far. I love to read nonfiction, but not really biographies. I don't really like to read biographies, but I like to read. It's like a mystery. It's like a good story. It's not difficult reading. It is very interesting. Even if you don't know a lot about Beethoven, it's still very well written, and it's a great little book. So look for that. I'm not sure if it's in print anymore. I don't know, but I'm sure you can find it used on Amazon or eBay or wherever. Okay. I don't think I can use a clip of it, but I'm going to tell you that there is an amazing rendition of O Holy Night. And I'm going to put a link below. And if you'd like, you can pause this video, open a new window, open that link, watch that, and come back. And then so what I want to say about this is that this guy, the video has been posted since 2007. Harrison and I watch it every year at least once. And there's no video to it. It's only the audio. This guy recorded a version of O Holy Night, which is not an easy song to sing for anyone. It's kind of like our national anthem, where it's got some highs and some lows, and you have to be a pretty good singer to pull it off. This guy didn't care about that. I don't know why he sang it, but he recorded it. Somebody had to be on the other end helping him record that, and I don't know how that person got to a point where they were like, you know what, you nailed it. Because it is comedic perfection. If you appreciate comedy, and I don't mean to demean the song. I don't want you to think I'm being, anti-religious or whatever. This was a guy who said, you know what, I want to sing this song with all of my being. And as it starts off, you're like, he's not that great of a singer. This isn't that great. And it builds, and it builds, and it builds. And if you're not laughing so hard that you pee a little bit by the end of it, I don't know what to tell you. It is really one of the funniest things on YouTube, I think. And it's just three and a half minutes. So if you have 3.5 minutes, go to the link below. Super enjoy it. Anybody, to me, I love it when people give 110%, especially in comedy. Some people just, like Will Ferrell, I feel is one of those. John Cleese is one of those, where it's like they completely enter and they're like, you know what, I am 100% in this. And this guy is absolutely, I'm sure he's very sweet. He did, I think, do interviews after a while about like what this whole thing was, and he's got a very good sense of humor about it. So he knows that this is online. He knows that people laugh at it, and I think he's a little bit like, I don't know what I was thinking, but in the moment, he's so there, and he is so singing the song. And you can't, it continues to get funnier and funnier as you listen to it. So I recommend that video. I'm all into Mind Hunters. It's on Netflix. My son Harrison recommended that I watch it 2 weeks ago, and I binge watched it. And it's very good. It's a Netflix series. It's not appropriate for children. And if you're sensitive, it's about the man who started the study of serial killers, so that they could learn like what to look for, how to catch people, what they're thinking, what their motivation is. And so it's set in the 70s, and they make the 70s look cool, which the 70s were not as cool as they make it look. But it's kind of fun to like, they play the music. Like there's one where they're watching Barney Miller. And so it's kind of a fun like trip back in time to the 70s. But also the subject matter is very interesting. And the acting is great. The writing is very smart. it's just a very, very well done series. And I think Julie at Gulf Coast Stitches might have said she watched it too. But it's serial killing. So there's not a ton of like visual. It's just that the subject matter is disturbing, and there's some nudity. Just be aware it's very adult. But it's very good, and it's, like I said, it's on Netflix, Mind Hunters. I'm into this little plaque. Where did it go? I don't know who gave this to me. I think it might have been Sue. I'm not sure. I keep it on my desk. And I feel like life is scary. And we as adults, when you're young, you think like, oh, adults have got it together. We don't know what we're doing. We have no idea what we're doing. Life is still scary for adults. You know, you have run-ins with people and you get unsure about things, and you have dealings with people that don't go that well. And I'm a person, and I think I've said this before, I will literally sometimes say to myself out loud, be brave, when I'm feeling anxious or worried about something. And it's helpful. Be brave. Be brave. Because you can do that. You can't always control a situation, but you can be brave about it. And sometimes just telling yourself to be brave, it helps you do that. I already told you about Luke's ukulele. And then I'm all into these little pomegranate seed things. I found them at Sam's Club. I've seen them at the grocery store, and they're kind of expensive, but you can get them in 4-packs at Sam's, and they're already all taken apart. Pomegranates, to me, I remember getting them at Christmas. My mom would buy one at Christmas. My brother and I would try to pry it apart, and we would make such a mess. It's like a murder scene. It's like a murder crime scene, because it's red, and you're a kid, so you're trying to dig them out, and the seeds erupt, and this fine mist goes everywhere. And I just remember it getting all over the wall once. And everybody painted their walls white. Do you remember that? Like back in the 70s, walls were just white. And so but anyway, you can get them. If you eat this whole thing, this is considered one serving. It's 100 calories. It's kind of a nice snack. I eat the seeds. I think there's like 2 schools of people on that. Some people suck the juice out and spit the seeds out. I eat the seeds. They're a little bitter, but they're, with the sweet, it kind of works. And it's fiber, I suppose. So I don't know. That's how I do it. But it's kind of nice not to have to mess with there are ways though, if you get a real pomegranate and you crack it open, you put it over a bowl and you bang on it with a heavy spoon, you can knock all the seeds out without making a mess. But we didn't know that in the 70s. We didn't have the internet, and we were a little bit stupid. So check these out. They're cheaper at Sam's. All right, that's what I'm all into this week. Grumpy pretty much lives in here. She loves the craft room. Don't you, Grumpy? That's her spot. She's so happy. All right, works in progress. I did some stitching this week. Like I said, I watched Mind Hunters. I got my Yuletide Shanty done by Plum Street Samplers. It's got this really cool whale with Christmas presents and things. It's not showing up as well on here as it does in person. I wish I had used a little bit darker fabric, but I think it's fine. So it's got a whale with gifts and candy canes under the sea, because of course it does. And then this is supposed to be the top, and it's supposed to work up as a drum. But I kind of like this, and I might make that into an ornament. And I think you could make this into an ornament. If you made it into a drum and you could do a different top to it, you could hang it as a drum from the tree. Might be kind of cute. So I don't know that I'm going to finish it in the way that it was recommended I finish it. But I like it. Because why wouldn't you have a Christmas whale? So that's finished. So that feels good. And I finished the Hollyberry Farm last week too. But I haven't done anything with that. Okay, I'm working on this for Harrison, so I'm going to be quiet. We got this pattern a few years back when we went to Minneapolis, and Harrison saw this pattern in the store, and he loves turtles. And this is ink circles, turtles all the way down. And I got it out, and I started it, and it stitches up really quick. So they're very cute. They're tiny, though. You can see here's a hamrock for scale. See, they're small, and so you could even do them as individual ornaments. And it's just in DMC. But it's turning out really cute. I don't know how I'm going to finish that yet. I'm not going to frame it. It's probably going to be like a bell pulley kind of a little thing or something. I'm not sure. But I'm working on that too. Okay. I also did a bunch of designing this week. I'm trying to get stuff out to model stitchers for market because time is a ticking. All right, Stash Flash. Haven't had much lately. I did get this in the mail and I haven't even opened it yet because I want to just sit down and just relish it. But this is the 2018 Christmas winter issue of Punch, Needle, and Primitive Stitcher magazine. I'm thinking I probably should contact her and see if I can just carry these in my shop. Because it would be nice for some of you, especially those of you overseas, to be able to get this magazine. It's so cool. Teresa Kogut. That is darn cute. I saw the cover and I was like, gotta have it. So I bought it. And then here's the back, and this shows some of the other projects in there. But there's always a ton of projects in here, and it's a very nice, like this magazine is so thick, it has a flat side. That's how thick it is. I don't know how many pages it is. Let's see. Over 100 pages. Super cute. Just fun to look at. It smells like ink. I love that. It's probably my magazine or my newspaper background. But so I got this on Etsy from a shop that sells them on Etsy. But maybe I'll start carrying them. So look around for it. Don't miss that one. Don't miss it. It's not inexpensive. It's a $15 magazine, but it has like 15 projects in it or more. There's a really cute... everything in here is cute. They're Christmas issues. They just nail it. Oh, look at that. There is a really cute... So there's some punch needle, though. Be aware. And I really would like to, in 2019, do some punch needle. I have a punch needle project started. Look at that. That's Barbara Anna. So there's just some really great stuff in there. I would like to do more punch needle next year because I really love the look of punch needle. And I have a punch needle project that I started. I'm going to go get it. I do this on my Hang With Me videos. If you guys don't watch my Hang With Me videos, I'm going to go get something. I'll be right back. I'm not going to like edit this out. So just enjoy watching Grumpy. Okay. I think this is a Brenda Gervais. I'm not sure. That's what the pattern looks like. That's what the back looks like. Here it is. It's Wool Farm. And I've even got the paddle to finish this on. But I set it down and then picked it up recently and did kind of a crappy job, and I pulled all that out that I redid. So maybe like over Christmas break I'll try to get this done because it's really cute. It's really, really cute. But I'd love to get good at it. I know that there are a few designers and whatnot who have tutorials on it, so I need to watch like Lori from Not Forgotten Farm. I think Brenda Gervais might have something online. I'm not sure. But I would like to do some punch needle next year. Because it's quick. It's one of those things. It's kind of like, remember Paint by Numbers? Paint by Numbers was fun. It's kind of like Paint by Numbers. You just use the only thing tricky about punch needle is just getting the needle threaded. And it's not rocket science. I'm sure there are videos on YouTube here of how to thread and how to do punch needle. You use a lot of thread. You use a ton of, like, it's crazy how much thread you use. I suppose it's kind of like rug hooking in that way because you're creating loops and they're tight, but it's something you definitely could learn to do. So I gotta pick that back up and see if I can finish that and get good at punch needle next year. Maybe I'll make that a goal. The only other stashy kind of thing that I got, and I'm not even going to call it stashy, you've probably seen me sipping on this. I love these You Are Here mugs now from Starbucks, and of course they're discontinuing most of these, but I find them on eBay. I got this London one. I have been to London, and I just thought that double-decker bus was so cute. I paid about $20 for it. It's got the London Eye, and can't think of the name of that bridge. It's over by the Tower of London, though. I've walked on that bridge. I've been on that bridge. And I just thought this was really cute. So I bought one. And that's my stash flash. I just don't have that much this week, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay. We're just about at the end. I wanted to talk about 3 things in my shop. When I was digging in the attic for Christmas stuff, I came across a design that I released 10 years ago probably, and it was a limited edition kit, and I only made like 100 of them. And I'm going to rechart this today and put it up on my site, so really by the time you are watching this video it'll be up, and I'm only going to do it as a download where you can download this little chart. It's one of my favorite Christmas songs. Oh the Holly, I think it's called. Oh the holly, she bears a berry as blood it is red. If you the Chieftains have a wonderful, the Bells of Dublin, I think it's called. Wonderful Christmas album. And they have a great, great, great version of this song. And so it's just stitched in overdyed threads. I think there was like a limited edition pack. I don't remember what. No, it was kits. I made little kits, not very many of them. But it's really cute. I finished it with these little beads are furniture, what do you call it? Like tapestry, not tapestry. Like you go in the section, you can get fabric for finishing furniture and things. It's like a trim that you get there, and it's got these little like wiry globes that have a bead inside of it. And it was not expensive. And I just literally hot glued it around the edge. It came with this, it came on a velvet ribbon, but I did it all the way around. And it had a hanger on it at one point. So I'm going to have to put another hanger on it and hang it from the tree, but I think it's really, really cute. And so I'm going to have to put that up for like $2, just as a download for you to, if you want to have just a little quick weekend project. But that was kind of cute and samplery. I forgot about that one. So that's one thing in the shop. I got a big order of Picture This Plus linens in. They take a while to get, which is fine because they're beautiful. And so by the time I got this order, I had run out of a bunch more. So I reordered a bunch. But I restocked my Picture This Plus fabrics this week. And I got some great color. I got some new colors in that I hadn't had up. Brash, which is very pretty. This is Cauldron in 32 count, and you can't really see it on this. Oh, you can see it a little bit. It's blue. It's like a vintagey kind of blue, and it's got like some kind of rusty browns in it, which is really neat. Conifer, which is a really pretty, piney kind of a color. This is doubloon. I think I've had that up. I just brought some just to show you. And this, I think, this piece that I showed you, I'm stitching on a piece of Picture This Plus. And so one of the things with Picture This Plus is people go, oh, it's very busy. It's very busy. The thing is, once you finish it, let me fold back on this to show you. Once you finish something on it, you don't see how much less busy that looks. So don't worry about things looking too splotchy or whatever. It's very, very pretty. This was just a scrap I had left over from something. So I've got those. Okay, so, and then the third thing was I've got these, and I don't know if I've shown these before, but I got another order of these in because I was pretty much out of them. These little paddles made by the Primitive Hare. Her husband makes these, and they're actually double-sided. And actually, you could hang that from your tree. It's pretty big. This is probably like about 10 inches. But I have a huge ornament on my tree that's even bigger than that, I think. But they go with these. Miss Harriet Hare Cotton. Miss Lynette Lynn Linen. And that one I gotta do. It's a cat with a stitching project. Why have I not done that yet? Sarah Sue Silk. And this is a crow. I love her dress. Look at her sleeves. And then Miss Mary Margaret Wool. So it's kind of like the fibers that we all like to use, right? And she actually has a tuft of wool fiber in there. And those scissors are hanging from like a chatelaine from her pretty dress. So these finish up on these. And I have lots of these right now. And I have lots of these charts too if you like them. But I just really love her style. I get stuff in and then I sell out of it again right away. But her Christmas things are very, very cute, and I have a lot of that in. I'm getting new stuff all the time. I got new stuff again on Friday. And so if you go to the What's New section of my site, you can see the things that have come in since the last time. Remember, at the bottom of each page, you can hit a button that says Load More, and you're not going to see everything because some of the categories, there's quite a lot. I think in Christmas now I've got almost 300 items. So a lot of that's restocked. You guys kind of wiped me out last weekend. Monday morning, I had 168 out of stock items, but a lot of it's back in stock. I think I still have about 80 that are out of stock, but I've got orders placed, and things are going to be on the way. I had a kind of a funny thing happen last Monday. Technology, I comment a lot of times how technology is so amazing. My website is so much easier to do now. I used to, starting in 97, I wrote the HTML code for each page. And, I could copy and paste certain parts of it, but I had to write code to build my website. And I can do that. I can't do a lot of the fancier stuff, but I can do basics. But now it's just a matter of like, it's as easy as using like a word processor. And so in a lot of ways, things have gotten easier, but sometimes technology just fails you a little bit. And I have a very nice printer, and it comes with these ink cartridges that I think have a powder in them. I don't think it's liquid ink. I think it's like some kind of weird powder. They're kind of expensive, but they last a long time. I buy the ultra high capacity ones, which are more expensive, but I get like double the sheets. So when I sat down last Monday to start packing orders, because I print my shipping labels from there, I thought, I should check on my ink levels just to see how I'm doing in case I need to reorder any. And I will start getting warnings. My printer will actually send messages to my computer that says, warning, you have this percentage of magenta left, and I'll go ahead and reorder. But I thought, I'm going to go to just manually check. And it said that I had, 25% of my black cartridge left. And I thought, that'll really last me probably 3 or 4 weeks, but I'm going to go ahead and just order it just because the holidays are coming up and it's better to be safe than sorry. So I went ahead and ordered that and cyan, which was starting to run a little bit low too. And so like a half an hour later, I had packed about 10 orders and I had like 250 to pack. And my printer started like just kind of, it was kind of just like not behaving. And then it's had a message on there that said, please turn off and restart your printer. And so I did that. And then it said, please take out and reinsert your black ink cartridge. And I did that. And my printer goes, oh yeah, you're out of black. They're literally like, it thought I had 25%. And then it was like, oh no, I made a horrible mistake. You have 0. So I had no black ink. And I had just placed an order for black ink. And it's a big company that I order from. So I was like, there's no one to call to say, hey, you don't know me, but I just placed an order. Can you put a rush on this? I just went ahead and ordered another black and had it overnighted. It was just kind of funny. I mean, printers. I mean, really, when you think about it, like, printers just, how many tears have we cried over printers? They're so much better than they used to be, but really. So I hope you all have a great weekend. I'm planning on going to Jen's tomorrow. We're having a stitching get together with our stitching group. The Artsy Fartsy Bus is the name of our group. And she said they're all going to bring sewing machines and work. I don't know what they're working on, but she said you can, of course, can bring whatever you want. I'm going to try not to do too much work this weekend, and I'm going to do a little running in here in a minute. I got Graham a really cool poster online, and I got to go to Hobby Lobby and get a frame for it. So I'm kind of excited about that because I think that was one of those like off the grid kind of ideas too. I know he's really going to like it. And I got to get some cat food and some litter and stuff like that. So I'm going to do a little bit of running, but then I'm going to really try to take her easy, put my feet up. And I hope you can too. I hope you're getting ready. Christmas is right around the corner. So that's all I've got for this time. Why didn't I go get that ornament? I'm going to go get that ornament and leave this running. You guys don't care, right? I'll be right back. I don't know where my dad got this, but it really is, I think, my favorite ornament. I'm not really sure why. I just think he's really cute. It's made of tin, like painted tin. I like it. I like it. I like you guys. We'll see you later. Bye.